We are live! Yay! I am so happy to be here today with Susanne, who is the author of Drop the Motherfucking Struggle. Her book is out today, and we've been working on it together for the last few months. Really exciting, going from idea to what did we do first? You first decided on all the info that had to go in there and how you were going to structure it, and you've been writing, we've been editing, we've been getting it all ready, designed, and uploaded and optimized in Amazon. And today,
yes,
I would say we can finally
today,
but I think that's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just sharing the link to the event page if everyone is wondering, what is she doing? I am paying attention. I am just making sure everyone knows where we are.
We are doing this, as always, these are the technical things that don't quite work the way that they said they would work, or we thought they would work, or nothing in life is unfamiliar to us in that sense. And rather than struggling through it, we decided to just do the easy
go with the flow,
way of doing it. So yeah, today is the day that your book is out. You can get your copy on Amazon, and drop your struggle for once and for all. I had the pleasure of reading the book already. I got to review it as well. Obviously, I had I've read it in different stages of being, but what I really like about it, and Susanne and I have been working together for a while now, but one of the things that I really appreciate about you, Susanne, is that you are this amazing bridge between these concepts of things like law of attraction and alignment and those kind of things, but you are also very much down to earth and
subtle.
And yeah, subtlety is not one of your defining characters. I mean, I think that much people can get even from the title of your book. So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing in the last few years that have gotten you to this point where you thought, right, I'm writing this book.
Well, of course, I've just written a book. I can talk about this forever. It all started, God knows how many years ago. I really, really love to write myself. I have a real fascination with the written word and the history of every word we use is right. It's made up by someone, and it's for me that's just fascinating, and that really sets my soul on fire. So the whole writing thing, it comes naturally to me. And with everything I went through in my childhood, and you can read more about that in the book in more detail, I really felt the urge to share my story, because when I was 17 and I got the diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short, I was told I was beyond help by my then psychologist. What she meant to say is, I can't help you because I don't have the skill set to help you. And it's a small difference, but I know many people who go to a doctor or a mental health for weight loss or whatever it is, they got told, oh, it's too difficult, or I can't do it, or that you're done, just go suffer somewhere else, right? And I just had that notch back then, and I still have that now, that if we can fly to Mars, right, there must be a way that I can either cure this or at least improve on this, right? If you balance on skills, think, can I go to Mars? Or can I improve the situation with, 1 step, 2 step, lots of steps? And that feeling when I had back then, when I was 17, 18, when that psychologist told me that, and moving forward now, I've always had that feeling of, there must be a better way. You're not telling me that I came all the way down to earth for this, right? This is it.
For like 17 years. And
You're right. I'm doomed for life. You just suffer your way through until you die, and that's it. So for me, that was that bit that makes me me. That I just that hope that I have to that there is a better way, and that allowed me to actually find a better way that works for me. Well, 3 years ago, give or take, I really was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm writing my book. I love the written word. I am good at writing. I have passion for it. I've got a story to tell. Yeah, but well, I spent the last 3 years trying to figure that out by myself. And it wasn't until I bought a digital course a few-ish weeks ago. The person laid out in that course how to line out my book, and it was so bloody simple. Seriously, I think I was done within a week with my outline. Something I struggled with for 3 years, ironically. And the outline, well, with your help, we started filling that in, bit on the details, and of course, first draft, second draft. I ended up writing a 6 draft with all the edits of things and everything to get it all done. So I think, I bought the course end of May. Yeah. So a little bit less than 12 weeks, we managed to, I had the idea for a long time to go from the idea.
That is an important part of it, though.
But it really helped to, layer it down and break it down. And that's obviously something you help your authors with as well, to really structure that story in a way that makes it readable. Essentially, you don't want to have great title and then go, I can't get through this.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying as well, when you're wanting to write a book, and so many people do, but to move from, I have this sort of abstract idea of what I want to write a book about, to actually coming up with a structure and the different steps and breaking it down so that you don't have to write a book on the first day, right? No. You just write it bit by bit, and if you get some guidance on how you can structure that and where to start, then that does help in the overwhelming process.
And of course, ironically, with the book, and it's called Drop the Motherfucking Struggle, it's ironic that I struggled effectively for 3 years to getting that structure in place. And the moment I was like, enough, I decide I'm gonna ask for someone else's expertise, or look another way, or try a different way. That's when it all came together. And of course, if you read my book, you'll see that the decision that you've had enough is the most important thing in that whole process. That you decide, look, I'm no longer available for a non-book being available. I want my real book to be available, and to shift your focus on the next step or the goal, and stop repeating that stuff that's not there. That's that book that's not there. I want to write a book, but it's not there. No, I am writing this book, and I'm moving forward to it. And well, I dive into the whole energetics and the principles, and the quantum physics and the history. So you have the complete knowledge of how our bodies are designed to work, and how you can apply that specifically to business, of course. But it's nice if you have a successful business and a nice life. So I made it slightly bit broader. Just the tools can be applied to any aspect of your life, and the aim is to help you improve it. And of course, ideally, I want you to feel great and drop all the struggle. But there is benefits in contrast as well, as I explain in the book too. So.
You touch upon one of the points that you make in the book as well, which is what is a successful business if it doesn't come with a life that you can enjoy as well, which I think is an extremely important point, and very current as well in all the conversations that are going on around work-life balance and working from home, and the new work, and mental health as well, that are are around in all the spheres, really. I was going to say in the LinkedIn sphere, but it's not contained there for sure. Is there any particular reason that you decided to, or that this is an important discussion to contribute to for you?
Well, obviously, I went through my own fair share of mental health issues, and especially when I was growing up, I was born with what they called hypersensitivity. So when I did an allergy test, I was allergic to literally everything. So anything they could test me for, I was allergic to. It wasn't until I was in my 20s I discovered that it was actually because of my gluten intolerance that made my body so inflamed, and therefore I was allergic to everything. But yeah, I spent a good part of 20 years trying to explain to people, look, if I eat bread, I am in agony. And then to have a dietitian tell me, no, but it's healthy. But it hurts. I don't want to eat this. Right? But you're kids, so you're supposed to do, what you're told. Yeah, well, that gave me a few health issues, not just mentally, but also physically. And it's not until this year, actually, I did a full allergy test earlier this year, I think January, where they tested for 900 different substances and things. And it wasn't until I put that in my diet, I actually managed to eat pain-free for as long as I can remember. And I've always been told, it's just eat it, you will grow out of it. And just to always be told to ignore how you're feeling, especially if you're as sensitive and empathic as I am, that is soul crushing, isn't it? And that's especially when I work with my clients and on this as well. I actually let the body tell the story. It's you and I have worked together many times, and it's our bodies is like a collection of memories of everything we went through. And if there's something that's just not shifting, we dive into that story. We get to the core. We listen to what it is our body is telling us, then give it the tools it needs so it can shift. And in my world where I grew up, it was no, ignore it. Listen to the authority figures who have nothing to do with your life, and just do as you're told. Yeah, and well, for me, especially in my teens, I spent almost 2-3 times a week during the night throwing up every single night because of the allergic reactions. Because I discovered I was allergic to soy as well, which in the Netherlands is, especially 10, 15 years ago, it started to be added to every single bloody item. So even the trace element would be enough for me to get excruciating pain in my stomach and just vomiting. Yeah, and when my parents said, "Yeah, tough, your problem."
Yeah, and so this is such an important thing that you're teaching people as well, is to sort of dive into their own guidance, because like you say, we are so conditioned to put that sort of the locus of control almost outside of ourselves, right? We have to listen to these authority figures and whether those are physicians or our boss or even just sort of the voices of they are telling us, whoever they are, because that's how it's done. That's how we're supposed to show up in the world, in our societies, and the work hard paradigm that is so prevalent everywhere. Just put another couple of hours of hustle into it and you'll get it. These are all sort of things that we allow to run our lives, and often they create a lot of struggle for us, right?
Going upstream instead of downstream. Yes.
So these are all themes that you're dealing with in the book. What is the main takeaway that you hope that people that people walk away with?
I think, or I hope, however you want to phrase it, my biggest takeaway is that life can be challenging, but the struggle is optional. And I think by reading the book, I make a real case about mental health as well, or physical health, or business, and in the household as well. If you're a mom like myself, I was raised as in, I had to be an independent woman. I wasn't supposed to rely on anyone. Be strong, make your own way. Don't depend on anyone, especially not a man. And, living abroad, a busy husband, a great business, 2 small children. If I have to do everything by myself as I was believed I was supposed to, I will never sleep. I will seriously not even, my head will never reach the pillow at night. It's just simply too much to do. And I think that the biggest case I make throughout the book, if you read between the lines, is that breaking down that belief in, I have to suffer in order to be worthy. Look at me being so busy, and look at me being so, so struggling. Just give up that shit, and give yourself permission to make it as easy as you can in that moment, or at least easier. Whether that's buying a robot Hoover like I did a couple of weeks ago.
You are so
great. Those things are great. My husband is now cleaning the house with Fufu, as we call him. And all he has to do is just move some stuff around, give the edges a dust, push the button, and Fufu does the rest, right? And it makes life so much easier. But it's just things, right? So if you're struggling with your mental health and you've been avoiding going to a professional, don't just give yourself a break and just ask for help, or whether if it's with diet or exercise, or with the kids at home, or whatever it is for you. Just make it that tiny bit easier. And if you make it yourself that tiny bit easier by allowing that shift to happen, by the time Christmas comes, it's how many days easier.
Absolutely true. And one of the things that we often say to each other as well, every time we get something or we achieve something that's making life that little bit easier, whether it's your robot Hoover, which we've been celebrating greatly. Yes. I was recently very excited because I got a new kitchen bin, and it just made my day.
I know, we partied.
And it's these things don't sound worth parties, but they're absolutely worth parties because they incrementally make life that little bit easier and that little bit better. And that's what I think, at least that was my takeaway from reading the book.
Yes.
A few times. And it's a delightful read. It's very easy to take in. And I guarantee you, if you get a copy of this book, you'll read it in a weekend, and then you'll probably reread it a couple of times over the coming
do the exercises and meditation, and
make it part of your system, and
the whole experience.
It is a whole experience, but like I said at the start of this little interview as well, I really appreciate how down to earth and how practical you are in your approach of these things. Where I think that sometimes when we start diving into these kind of topics, we can sort of lose touch with reality a little bit. And there's not a moment in the book or my life experience with you where you forget that there are such things as bills to be paid, and in your case, kids to be taken care of, or households to be run, or those kind of things. And so I really appreciate that about the book as well, that it doesn't forget that life is still happening around us, even while we're, unpacking these beliefs and trying to sort of reprogram ourselves to not struggle so much.
Yes.
So
then you got the message, because that's the whole thing, and that's why my official title is then work-life balance expert. But this is the key this is the most important element of the work that I do. It's not, we don't just have business and the rest of our lives. It's that beautiful blend, a beautiful mix of what makes us, all these different elements that come together. But if these elements come together in a way that's completely destructive to your mental health and your well-being, it is not working for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that with this book that the reader realizes that, look, okay, this is clearly not working for me. I know, really well what's not working for me, but starts that making that progress moving forward, just step by step each day. And I'm not asking you to move a bloody mountain or build a castle or
No, I mean,
it's just every day. It's just easy transformation. You don't need to suffer your way through to your next level of success. That's not the way to be successful. In the end, success is a feeling. It's about how you feel about you, about what it is you're creating in this world. If you feel you constantly need to be busy, to be proving, to be showing up, because otherwise you are not worthy. You are stuck. You will be stuck in an endless people-pleasing pattern. And no matter how much you do, it will never be enough.
Exactly.
And it's not until you dive into that core belief of you not feeling enough, you not feeling worthy, or you not feeling safe. Often, especially with women, we have to get to the core belief of safety. It's not until you shift that you can actually spend a weekend doing fuck all and still feel productive. And that's often a mind-blowing concept for my clients. Like, what? You want me to do nothing?
What is happening? It's very interesting. I was having a conversation earlier today, and we've got your book coming out today, and then the magazine, the Feminist Entrepreneurs magazine, came out yesterday, and on Monday there's a co-authored book coming out of House of Hives. So it's it's a busy week.
Nice and busy.
Someone said to me, "Oh, it must be sleepless nights this week," and I was like, "No."
because I work with Susanne.
That's the one thing we will not compromise on, because what's the point of not sleeping? I won't be able to do much work anyway, because you can't if you're not well rested. I'd rather leave one load of laundry for next week than not sleep, right?
It can wait. And that's the thing.
Priorities in your life as well. So yeah, it's I can't recommend this book enough, because I mean, we've been working together for so long, so maybe it's not entirely objective, but
that's allowed.
But it is but it's such a practical perspective on this, and especially women, and I think, and you say this as well, like you aim your work a lot around for mothers as well who are working, because there are so many demands on our time and so many expectations on how much project management goes into
the hidden workload
of our families. That is true for women, whether they have children or not. It just adds more moving pieces.
Husbands, yes.
But there are all these expectations of us on how we are responsible for all these things and keeping a household running. So having someone in your corner who's saying like, "Hey, let's make this easier," in a way that's also very practical and very easy to implement, in the sense that you're not expecting people to suddenly do 12 hours of journaling a day. I mean, some journaling.
Who's got time for that?
Exactly. You understand the demands of modern life, business, and all those things. So go check out Drop the Motherfucking Struggle. Can you hold up your
Yes, it's not official copy, so ignore the lines, because that was the copy to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah, exactly. That was the proof print.
Yes,
but yay! Fantastic. It's available on Amazon. We will drop a link in the comments where people can buy the book. If you can buy it today and help us rise in the Amazon, what you call them?
Shop.
Yeah, and I was trying to
store, Amazon store.
Like,
yes. The goal is to get it to a number one position, especially in a category mental health, because I really believe we have a powerful book here that can potentially change a lot of parents' life, and of course the children that are affected by that as well. So if this message resonates with you, I would love if you could support us in our mission to create a better world for all of us by including health and wealth into our long-term success strategy.
There we go. That's it.
That's
what we wanted to say. It just took us 25 minutes to get there. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us, whether you watch this live or you watch this as a replay. We are so happy to have you here. And if you have any questions of Susanne about the book, or of me about publishing your own book, or maybe contributing to a co-authored publication, then please do reach out, and let's all go change the world together.
Yes. Bye.